What's up YouTube, it's the one and only Legend of Winning, aka Low, and I am back with another video. Now the NBA season is coming to a conclusion, so what I decided to do is kind of just wrap everything up and give you my final thoughts on a lot of things when it comes to this NBA season. Last video I talked about my 5 biggest disappointments in the NBA, so I'll make sure I will leave a link in the description and also put some annotations so you can make sure you watch that when you get done with this video. But today's video I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest surprises in this NBA season. Now for your perspective, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below of your own surprises in the NBA this season. Also leave a like on the video if you enjoy, hit the subscribe button to be updated on all the content, and with all that being said though, let's get right into the video.
Top five.
Coming in at number 5, we have the Miami Heat. Now Miami is a team that I think a lot of people expected to struggle since the beginning of the NBA season. First you had Justice Winslow, who went down with a torn labrum, which then led him to receive a season-ending surgery. Then you still had big question marks about Chris Bosh and his health. But the biggest problem with this organization actually happened before the season even began. A lot of people, including myself, was extremely concerned about the contract disagreement between Dwayne Wade and Pat Riley. This disagreement got so ugly that the future Hall of Famer, 3-time champion, and franchise star Dwayne Wade decided to take his talents to Chicago and play for the Bulls, which left this team a little bit short-handed when it came to the perimeter. And like I stated before, with Justice Winslow going down with a season-ending injury, that really hurt them on the perimeter. So because of these events, it really didn't leave anybody surprised whatsoever when they had a record of 11-30 by the middle of January. However, what is extremely surprising is how many games they've won since then. Since January 13th, this team has only lost 8 games. Because of this newfound success, a lot of people are trying to figure out where in the heck is this coming from. Well, a lot of people have already decided to give a lot of credit to the starting 5. We have Goran Dragic and Dion Waiters, who have been extremely efficient, and then you obviously have Hassan Whiteside, who was doing what he obviously does all the time. However, after looking at a couple of games, I have to give their props to their bench. The bench productivity with the Miami Heat has been astonishing. You have Tyler Johnson, who's starting to come into his own, Wayne Ellington, who is being rather consistent, especially from behind the arc. However, James Johnson this season has been a big and massive surprise. The flexibility that the forward gives this team actually helps them out a lot, especially on the defensive end. In his athleticism,
last shot of the quarter, Johnson with a hammer dunk, it counts.
Well, if you've seen him dunk on a couple of people, you know how athletic James Johnson is. However, the bigger picture is still Miami is a team that struggled consistently in the beginning of the season. However, they're finding themselves in the playoffs, which is something that me and a lot of people just did not expect whatsoever. Now, coming in at number 4 is the evolution of the big man. Over the past couple of years, a narrative has been shaped that the big man is a dying breed in the NBA. However, over the past couple of years, there has been a massive shift in the amount of big men that have entered the draft and has some success early in their careers. And quite honestly, I'm rather surprised, not just because how dominant they've been in the NBA thus far, but also the way that they've been able to dominate and affect the game and be extremely efficient in doing so. A lot of people may just peg it as, oh, they're just knocking down more threes. However, it's much more than that. Not only are they spacing the floor and knocking down their threes, but also defensively they're much more lateral, much more athletic, and they're extremely good passers. And some of the players can actually put the ball on the floor and create their own shot and get to the rim. To me, that is rather impressive. DeMarcus Cousins is a player who is what, 6'11", 270 pounds? And the fact that he's knocking down threes, creating his own shot, taking people off the dribble, finishing around the lane is extremely impressive. Karl-Anthony Towns, Kristaps Porzingis, and oh yeah, let's not forget about Jokic as well. Also, you have other players such as Brook Lopez and Marc Gasol, players who've been known for their low post abilities. However, they're starting to spread the floor and knock down threes as well. But the one thing that really blows me away is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Even though a lot of us wouldn't peg him as being a big man, if Giannis played in the 80s and 90s, being 6'11" with a 7-foot wingspan, I think a lot of people would just tell him you need to put the weight on and start backing players down. However, in today's NBA, we're so open-minded on how we want to develop some of these young guys, we feel completely comfortable with telling him, If you feel like handling the ball and you can play, make, and find players on the perimeter, then be the point guard, be the ball handler, initiate the offense. And that's something that again is blowing me away, and I'm massively surprised at how much we have evolved over the past year. Coming in at number 3, we have the Washington Wizards. Now the Wizards are a team that personally, I thought they were going to make the playoffs before the season started. I had them roughly around the 8th seed, but I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I didn't think that they were going to be this great. This team is pegged to win roughly around 50 games this season, which is a massive surprise. Not only for some people who sleep on the Washington Wizards, but also because how poorly they played in the beginning of the season. However, over the past couple of months, they've really turned it around and showed and proved a lot of people wrong. Obviously, everything starts with John Wall, who's playing fantastic this season. It seems like John Wall has the perfect blend of scoring and passing, something that other players in the NBA just quite don't have yet. Then you have Bradley Beal. A lot of people, including myself, had major concerns with him and his health. However, he's turned it around this season. He too was averaging 23 points, but his shooting splits, oh my goodness. Bradley Beal is through the roof this year, shooting 48% from the field and 40% from behind the arc. However, the biggest surprise has to be Otto Porter. Fantastic spot-up shooter this season, which is all he really needed to be. And the cherry on top of all of this is at the trading deadline, this team went out and got a great complimentary piece in Bogdanovic from the Nets and gave up little to nothing. This is a team that is proving a lot of people wrong, just flat out a lot of people wrong. Again, like I said before, personally I had to make it in the playoffs because, you know, I ain't sleep on John Wall. I'm wide awake. However, I didn't really think that they were going to win 50 games, which is rather surprising to me. Also, I'm going to just keep saying this as well. John Wall, he's the second best player in the East. I really don't care what anybody says. John Wall is the second best player in the Eastern Conference. Coming in at number 2, we have the Houston Rockets. Last year, the Houston Rockets were a team that, in some regards, underachieved, especially finishing 8th in the Western Conference and getting knocked out in the first round by the Golden State Warriors. A lot of people felt that the tension between Dwight Howard and James Harden became a massive distraction in the locker room and decided to move forward without Dwight Howard and bring in Mike D'Antoni as a head coach. So I do believe a lot of people just expected this team to fall off defensively, and if they barely made the playoffs last year, then they might not even make it this year. However, a lot of people, including myself, was completely wrong. Now I do want to take the time out for a second and just openly admit that I've been extremely wrong about James Harden. I still don't think that he's like a great, phenomenal player, and I don't think that he should be compared to all-time greats such as Michael Jordan. But still, what he's done this season has been rather impressive in my eyes. Because my whole criticism on James Harden is sure that he can put up the numbers, but if it doesn't translate to wins, quite honestly, there's something that he needs to change, and if that means playing defense at an elite level or toning down the turnovers, then he needs to do so. However, this season he has been completely unbelievable. However, as you notice, at number 2, I didn't have James Harden, I had the entire unit in the Houston Rockets. When it comes to the entire team, they're projected to win roughly around 55, maybe even more games this season, which is rather impressive. And obviously you have the system of Mike D'Antoni that inflates some players' numbers. However, some of these guys, I really didn't expect them to play this good. Ryan Anderson is back to his sharpshooter ways. Patrick Beverley has taken on a different role, which I do applaud him for, not being the ball handler, but being that guy on the perimeter that's going to play some defense, because again, you're not going to get that from James Harden. But if there is one player that I had to highlight on this team outside of James Harden, it would have to be Eric Gordon. Now, if you've been following Eric Gordon's career, you know that he has the ability to post numbers like this. But the thing that really has taken me by surprise is his acceptance of taking a different role. And because of this, he probably will be rewarded by winning 6th Man of the Year this season, which all praise goes to him for doing so. They're still not going to win anything whatsoever, but the argument that James Harden should be the MVP really does have a very legitimate argument to that, because of the amount of wins this team has seen over the season and the amount of burden that James Harden is carrying on his shoulder for this organization. And finally, coming in at number 1, and the biggest surprise in my opinion this season, is Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double. Now, I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say, didn't you just criticize Russell Westbrook for averaging a triple-double or at least inflating some of his rebounding numbers? And yes, that is true, and even though I still believe that he still pads his stats in some regards, especially on the rebounding numbers, it's still rather impressive to watch Russell Westbrook go out there on a night-in, night-out basis and accomplish something that's only been done once before, and that was way back in the 60s when the game was completely different. Not only that, he is leading his team to a record that could be also rather impressive. If Russell Westbrook can lead this team to 50 wins this season, that means that they only dropped 5 games from last year. And that's a team that featured not only Russell Westbrook, but Kevin Durant and Serge Ibaka. Furthermore, it does seem like Russell Westbrook and the criticism that he has received over the past couple of years, he is starting to improve on in the last couple of weeks that I've seen him play. He's starting to become much more efficient, the turnovers aren't as daunting as they used to be, and he has toned down some of the three-point attempts that he's had. But still, regardless of the field goal percentage, the three-point percentage, and the turnovers, people still are extremely impressed with the fact that he's just averaging a triple-double, which they should be, because averaging a triple-double, like we all know, is extremely hard. Hopefully this team as a whole becomes better sometime soon, and I hope that Billy Donovan kind of pushes the whole triple-double thing aside for next year and makes some of these players better as individuals and not just completely surround the entire season around Russell Westbrook. But until then, hey, let's all enjoy the fact that Russell Westbrook is averaging a triple-double, and let's just enjoy the fact that we can all say that we saw a historic event almost every single time Russell Westbrook took the floor. It's just been a massive surprise, and again, something that should be applauded for Russell Westbrook, even if he doesn't average a triple-double or doesn't win the MVP this season. So there you have it, people. Those are my 5 biggest surprises this year in the NBA. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you feel like I left anything out whatsoever, make sure you leave it in the comment section below. Also, hit the subscribe button for more awesome content that I will be uploading on this channel. Also, follow me on Twitter. I don't say that enough. And also, I will be doing this as well. I do forget to do this from time to time. I will leave these song credits in the description below. I'm going to say this in a video, so I'll make sure I do it in my editing session. So yeah, shout out to all y'all who watch the video, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.